Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. In this session, we shall discuss a very important misconception which is generally found regarding Islam and women. It is maintained that a wife cannot refuse sex to her husband, and this point of view is generally formed on the basis of the narrative that I am going to read out to you, and this actually is a misinterpretation of the narrative, and I shall presently explain what the correct meaning of the narrative is. The narrative is recorded in Bukhari, and it is narrated by Abu Huraira. The words are, إذا دعا الرجل امرأته إلى فراشه فأبت فبات غضبان عليها لعنته الملائكة حتى تصبح. When a husband calls his wife to bed and she refuses, and as a result the husband spends the night in anger, then angels curse the wife all night till dawn. Now, first of all, before we understand this narrative, it is imperative that we take into view a few things. Firstly, we know that husband and wife, they guard the chastity of each other by providing to each other the only legitimate means of satisfying their sexual urge. So therefore, guarding the chastity is a very important thing which is required, and this has to be underscored at all instances, that if this gets into jeopardy, then of course we need to realize the fact that something is going wrong. In other words, providing a legitimate means to a husband or to a wife through this marriage bond by having sex is a very, very legitimate need of a husband or a wife. Now, the thing which needs to be understood here is that all narratives have common sense exceptions in them. For example, this narrative does not hold good for instances in which, for example, a wife or a husband is tired, or a wife is not in the proper frame of mind, she's not in the mood. The real thing which needs to be understood here is that when the wife deliberately starts to avoid the husband, when she deliberately starts to forsake the bed of the husband and she does not want to be intimate with her, does this ruling apply? Another very important thing which also should be kept in consideration is that men are equally addressed in this narrative, and of course any evasion on their part for their wife is also not allowed. However, if we consider certain other directives which are found in the Quran, particularly the directive regarding Ila, we come to realize the fact that men themselves, they must not sever their sexual relationships with their wife. Of course, this has been discussed in the directive of Ila, in which the Arabs of the times of the Prophet, they would swear not to have sexual relations with their wives. The Quran has told them that they should wait for 4 months, and after that they must decide either to resume these relations or to divorce their wives. So the directive itself tells us that in normal circumstances it is not at all appropriate for a husband to adopt this attitude. So therefore, in a nutshell, it should be understood that this narrative relates to circumstances in which a wife is deliberately avoiding her husband, and they do not relate to cases in which, for example, a wife is tired, she is not in the proper frame of mind, or for some other legitimate reason she does not want to indulge in this intimate relationship. أقول قولي هذا واستغفر الله لي ولكم ولسائر المسلمين والمسلمات.